welcome back. Ooh, the first welcome was a little bit rough, am I right? You guys know me. I'm Alu. It's another episode of 24 Alu. I like to, have the weekends for myself. The creative thought, the creative mind. But anytime somebody wants to hop on with me, I am more than welcome to schedule one on the weekend. But today is Monday. The good old, okay, so the Mondays. Oh, I don't want to go back to work. I dread it. So it's crazy. We all have our vices. We all have our things. I really don't mind. I actually lose track of the days sometimes. That's another podcast episode, which we will do, which I feel like I should talk about. Because I have to ask myself all the time, what's today? But one day I will always know. It's Sundays. That's my day to get the word of God in. Also, I do watch my football and absolutely do not move all day. I go to the gym early in the morning and that's about it. Before I get off track even more, let's dial it back in. I was having really good conversations because I was talking about my YouTube videos. For you all that don't know, it's under Aaron Michael Lewis. Just all my content I'm creating. But then we dove into a genuine, natural conversation, and a lot of things were talked about. We both enjoy the show Insecure by Issa Rae. I just love beautifully written things, whether it's music, shows, movies, whatever it is. I just love creativity. I also watched The Harder They Fall, which I enjoyed it thoroughly. But we just went into a lot of different things. And one of the things that my friend brought up was I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not going to name any characters. That was I just liked how they showed how friends can fall out. And I'd hope to see what they, go from there. And I was just yeah, but I also hope they show that people move on. Or not even just move on. People just don't always, build Humpty back together again. You get what I'm saying? So that's where I got today's episode from. I was like, ooh, we should talk about that. Because I know a lot of people in my life struggle with coexisting with other people. So today is called Coexisting. So shout out to my friend for just that conversation that just brought it up. Coexisting is huge. And it's crazy because we talked about this days ago. And the new Insecure episode that just dropped yesterday kind of touched on it. Didn't dive into it, but shows the struggle of coexisting. The definition of Webster is to exist with another person in the same world, same place, whatever. But I like when they dive deeper into it when it comes to being social. Respecting somebody else's space and handling things in a non-violent way, a confrontational way. That to me is coexisting. That to me is you don't have to be their favorite person. They don't have to be your favorite person. You don't got to go to brunch with these people. You don't got to catch movies and have game night with these people. But we all live in this crazy world, right? We're all trying our best to figure out what's going on and what we got to do, and we got our emotions we got to deal with. And sometimes it's not going to be perfect, but I think that's what coexisting is, finding ways to exist with other people that we may not want to be in our lives, but that they are in our lives, and we have to figure out a way to make that, work out for both sides. A lot of us do things because the way we're set in our ways. So when we see somebody else do something, we automatically get upset because that's not the way we would do things. That's just not how the world works. I feel like if we had this understanding of other people's life and their experiences and what they're trying to do, maybe they're trying to figure out the best way so where they're not, offending you or hurting your feelings. Maybe they're not. Maybe their actions are selfish, and that's just who they are. And this is easier said than done, but the best thing is not to react initially. Because your initial reaction, it is filled with things like what your initial thought, what you would do, right? So you're analyzing them through your eyes. So I think the biggest thing is okay, before I react to this and respond to this, let me see why they would do this. And let me not just go off raw energy of what in the world, Take a step back and be you may not even respond to it. That helps. Or you may find something oh, maybe that's why they did it, and you guys talk it out. I have, a brother that's going through divorce. A lot of people go through divorce. And I think the struggle is everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants the power. Everybody wants this. Everybody wants this on their side. And then there's right and wrong. But I love my brother's mindset because we write a lot too. It's everybody's a villain in somebody else's story and everybody's a hero. It's the same thing. Or you live long enough to become the villain. There's always a different perspective, a different opinion, different light that people see you in. So it's not, I hate saying it's not right or wrong, but it's really not. I don't like how everybody wants to be right, because your right is your right and their right is their right. So of course you think they're wrong and they think you're wrong. You get what I'm saying? The thing about it is trying to come to an understanding on both sides, but respecting people's space, man, that's huge. Just being disrespectful, be disrespectful because you feel a certain type of way, that's not it. Now, yes, some people do some things that could, offend you, hurt you, things like that. And sometimes you have to remove people from your space, and sometimes you have to seek help. But if both parties are trying to put forth effort to find a common ground, I think that's where the difference sets in. You feel me? And you see the effort, but you just don't want to see it because you're annoyed by their efforts. You know what I'm talking about, and that happens between people. They see the effort, but then they let outside chatter chime in, or they let their certain type of feelings chime in, because they already didn't like the person, or it's all these different things, all these different variables and factors that chime in, and it's hard to coexist. But I think it's worth it when something is, I don't want to say forcing you, when something in your life that's keeping you all in each other's life, and you guys have to be in each other's lives, there should be a way of finding a way to coexist. Okay? And some of that times it's kids, some of that times it's your job, some of that times it's whatever your passion is or anything like that. And there's people in your life that you may not like. Okay? I can tell you right now, if anybody that's close to me knows I love people, but that like factor, that's a 50-50. I'd even say 30-70 sometimes. Because people do things where I'm just like, what? But when in my younger years, I used to be like, yo, that's dumb, that's stupid. I would clown them, I would treat them. I would literally make them feel stupid. Now, sometimes I don't even respond. Because what they're doing is not in response to me, it's in response to their own self. And when I don't respond, then they have to deal with themselves. And now they're having an internal conversation with themselves, and they're just like, well, okay, he didn't respond. And now they're having a reflection of themselves. And sometimes it does warrant a response, and I will respond, but in a respectful manner. Respectfully, I will. I don't like to do things like just cause anymore. I used to just be like, okay, this person needs to know about themselves. That's not my job. It's not my job to teach people about themselves. I can inform you. I can spread knowledge and positivity and light, but the only person that's gonna learn about themselves is you. So my eagerness to tell people off, it's not there anymore, because I got my own life to worry about. It's just too much. So I think that's what happens in the habitat of trying to coexist in the wild, when people be like, no, I'm gonna let this person know about themselves because I'm right, and I know this, and I read this, and this person told me this, and my mama said this, and my best friend told me this. All that happens, man. And I'm not perfect. I mess up sometimes. But the thing about it, I do my best to coexist or try to understand people. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the biggest thing, and that's what I wanted to talk about, and that's why I'm glad my friend brought that up. I'm like, ooh, this is something people need to be aware of. I'm not telling you how to do it or how to handle it. That's not my job. My podcast, my YouTube channel is to raise awareness and to inform people and to be like, hey, oh, maybe, I didn't even think about that. That type of feeling. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm not here to put somebody on their high horse. I'm here to spread awareness, and that is who I am. So I think, next time you see somebody in your life that's in your life, because whether it's your job, school, work, you have kids that have a kid together, or a family member, or a friend to a friend, or whatever it is, and you're in each other's lives, and you guys aren't too fond of each other, it's more about understanding where they're coming from and respecting their space. Respecting their space is so huge to me. It's so powerful. Just, if you don't know, look up the definition of respect. I'm not going to do another Webster dictionary definition. Check it out. But you know what it is. And that's huge. That goes a long way. You don't got to hold hands and sing songs together while you're respecting them. But respect somebody's space. And try to handle things in a non-confrontational or non-violent way. And then go about your business. Go about your life and enjoy your life. And that's what this is. So thank you guys for tapping in with me for another episode of Life with Lou. 24/8 Lou on my podcast. I appreciate all of you all. I love it. I love the conversations that I have. I love the topics that I have. You guys know my mantra: sage, sacrifice, achieve, grow, exceed. And until next time, stay blessed. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Life with Lou. I'm A. Lou, and until next time, y'all have a good one.